Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge in financial freedom. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the elections, because, that's the biggest news for the week. All that data is not going to matter too much. It'll matter a little.
No one cares
but,
about the election.
Yeah, no, just us in the financial world, you know. The rest.
Yeah, no one cares about the elections. No one cares.
Everyone else just wants to throw fits about it. Either way, but how you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. I'm getting prepared for the incoming Civil War, and yeah, that's about it. No, I'm kidding.
So you've been
no, I'm doing
stocking bullets.
I'm not saying anything. You know? I don't tell people how much Bitcoin I own. You know, that's something you just don't do. You know, I don't tell anybody any of that stuff. No, no, man. It's the last week for me on Good Morning Crypto, so it's gonna be a crazy week. It's gonna be a fun week. I say it's the last full week because I will make some appearances on Good Morning Crypto, of course. But yeah, about to move this weekend. Get clothes on the house tomorrow. Yep, on election day. And yeah, hopefully we get all of our gas, our internet, our electricity, all that stuff set up before everything breaks down, you know? and,
Before they steal an election.
Anyway, YouTube, that is in a video game. It's not real. Don't demonetize us.
It's all a simulation. Haha.
The curtain just drops in the background. You thought you had a choice.
Yeah.
You don't. And it's just Elon Musk and some robots. Here, put this thing in your brain. Here's a chip. Put this in your brain.
Give me a robot to clean my toilet and I won't complain too much.
Yeah.
Basically.
Give me my own personal butler.
Personal assistant.
Robo-slave.
He should literally market it like that. He'd make so much money.
Robo-slave?
Yeah.
Oh, God, liberals would die.
Yeah, but they'd also secretly love it.
They look like humans. You can't do this.
I can, though. I can. Because I own it.
Super libs, leftists would cry.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
There are some reasonable lefties out there, okay?
Yeah, who would get tons of enjoyment out of it. But...
Yeah. But anywho, yeah, man. So Bitcoin, it's trying to, we got a little bit of a pullback over the weekend, or actually since last Wednesday, we've been getting a little bit of a pullback. So yeah, I think the markets are kind of getting prepped for that election, and I don't think the markets have priced in either one because it's such a dead heat. It looks like from the polling data. Oh yeah. You got Harris plus 1 and 2 here and there. You got Trump plus 1 and 2 here and there. Dead heat. Betting markets are still favoring Trump, but we did see some movement over the weekend. So yeah. What about you, man?
I mean,
What do you think?
for me, I still want to see the closure of the fair value gap that I've talked about at 66,000. So I think that's where we're heading. I've been talking about that for a few weeks, and I feel like that's a perfect spot to kind of price things in at, because we're probably not going to see it that cheap again. The bottom of that being like 63 1. Like, I think that's as good as we're going to get before we really move on out of here. We've now broken back into that range that we were talking about for 6 months. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with the election. A bunch of that, the move out of there was just people needing to take some profits. So you got people buying up, and market makers are like, we're going to take that liquidity that's at the top side before we drop it back down, and we really do a whole bunch of spot buying. Because as you've seen, these moves have not been spot buys. And it was always kind of going to drag back down, where perpetuals can't move. Perpetuals can only move a market so much. Especially when, like, if it's on contract sides, where, like, there's Bitcoin options, but if you don't fulfill your Bitcoin option contract, then nothing gets bought, and all you're doing is selling the contract, and that brings no liquidity into the market. All you did was make a little money, you sold your contract, and someone else bought it. And that's where we just had a bunch of options contracts expire at the end of the month. And those 30-day contracts.
Are we live?
Yeah. Those 30-day contracts can really, really move markets. And that's what you'll see, where people want to grab that liquidity, or those market makers, they don't want to lose their money, because, that's a decent chunk of change. They were betting on something, and they don't want to lose that bet. So instead, they'll just drop a bunch of money into the markets. And that's why you'll see those moves up at the end of a month sometimes, or a big move down at the end of a month sometimes, because they bet. There was like, oh, we were going to see 63. Okay, let's drop it there. We got more money on this options contract that we're not going to fulfill anyway, that we're just going to turn around and sell, but that's a lot of money to lose. So I was going to touch on an article before the end of the month about that, but I didn't, because it wasn't as important as other stuff that was coming out. So
there's a lot of stuff more important in this election, like family, friends,
weddings,
our neighbors, your fellow citizens, making sure everybody's okay and good and fine, and make sure you have some antidepressant pills for your friends, whoever may need them. We don't know who's going to need them, but whoever may need them. Probably everyone.
Yeah, according to the advertisements that you see on TV, everyone needs antidepressants, David. You can always be happy. Are you smiling like the person on the TV? Oh, if you're not, then buy this medication.
Yeah, I definitely need that. Big Pharma. What up, Big Pharma?
But let's.
Yeah, I've got an interesting chart that I found over the weekend. Well, I shouldn't say I found it over the weekend. I created this chart over the weekend based off of something that I saw on X. So, yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
Let's dive on in, so you can.
You want to throw us both on there?
Yeah, I can do that. Let's
my screen up.
Dive on. Oh, both with. Let's get yours. Is it that one? Oh, you need to share your screen with me.
Oh, snap.
You just shared yourself. Which is A-okay. We love seeing your beautiful face in the mornings, but we also want to see your screen too, because
there we go.
People want to see the nerdiness.
Yeah, this is the nerdiness right here. This had country up in the Piper Academy Discord. Link in the description below. You join it today. This had him asking me, "Did you put these lines up manually?" And I was like, "Is it weird that I did?" Like, because yeah, I decided I wanted to do this. So anyway, hold
Is
on,
it
did I move something?
is that halvings in elections or?
You'll see. I'm about to break this down. So on X, I saw this post. Someone said, after the election week, the low put in that week, we never come back and revisit ever in Bitcoin's history. So I was like, well, let me go and mark off all the election days and see how true that is. And it was 100% true. All the blue lines here, and here are election days. Election weeks, I should say, because I'm on a weekly chart. These are the weeks of the election. Put in the low here, never saw the low again. Put in the low here, never saw the low again. Put in the low here, never saw that price again. And then we haven't, we're there now. So, and with that, I was like, well, I wonder if the midterms have anything to do with price. And so all the red lines are all your midterms, and they seem to be where we get our final leg in the bear markets is on the midterms. So that was kind of crazy to find, just randomly over the weekend. All the white lines are just the all-time highs. So yeah, and the reason why I did the all-time highs is because I went from the first one from the election to the all-time high, 385 days, and then I moved that over to this election day, push it over, and where did I hit? All-time high. 385 days after the election, where did I hit? All-time high. Did I find a secret? What is this? 385 days after this election is going to be late November, early December of 2025. If this pattern is to continue, that is when we would see the all-time high, is late November, early December of 2025. If this pattern is to continue. I have no way of knowing if it is. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not a time traveler from the future. But still found it pretty interesting, So what do you think about that?
I mean, it's very interesting. I mean, there was definitely a reason that I was saying that they might want to drop it down to 63,000 because we might never see that price again. It's like it doesn't like you can't ask for a whole lot more. Or it's like the lowest you'll ever see again after this 63. It never touched 63,000 again. A lot of people are going to be happy, and that's about as low as they could really drop it from that last high. You can't really move it a whole lot more than that. You could, but like the sell-off that you'd have to do risks the fact that you might not get in because there's going to be a lot of people that have spot buys that are set up below that. Like 62, 61. Like if you drop it harder than that, that just might, all of that gets swooped up and you don't get the chance to rebuy. So that 63 range is a very untested area, which allows you to kind of get back in. So we'll kind of see how this week plays out with the election.
Yeah, so then my little inner, well, this is YouTube. I can't say stuff. Yeah, my nerd brain, I'll just call it that. My nerd brain was like, let me go to the Dow Jones and look at some history on this whole election thing and see what's going on here. So for the last 30 years, there was only one time, and it was after the dot-com bubble, that we had negative price action from the election to the midterms. Only once out of the last 30 years. Every single other time, we closed higher than where we opened on elections on the week of the elections, every single time. So I don't know, man. I just got into this whole election thing, and I was like, let me go into the chart and start breaking some stuff down and see what I'm seeing. See if I see anything interesting. I need to go from the midterms and see what to the next election. But I mean, these are nice gains, man. These are some nice gains over the years, just on the index alone. You know, this is 30 years worth of data, and only once from election to midterm did we finish lower than where we started. And that was after the dot-com bubble. And somebody, you know, I was sharing this in the Piper Discord, and I think it was Buck that was like, dot-com bubble, you know, that was that, and this is probably going to be the AI bubble. Probably, fair enough. It's very possible. So we could be seeing that after this election, we do see that big dip. But I don't think so. I think it's going to be the next election, to be honest. I think it's going to be the 2028 election that is going to be, we're going to probably see this type of move here. Ending off kind of sideways and down. We'll see. I don't know. The next election is going to be probably even wilder than this one. Hopefully, if we have one. If we have an election.
You don't
So,
think
yeah,
that
I'm not.
a bubble could pop sooner, depending on who's elected?
No.
You know,
I think that chart that I just showed you just kind of proves that it doesn't matter who's president.
I mean, in some ways, yes, because of the gains that you'll see, but also how the monetary policy is handled after the dot-com bubble kind of was part of the reason that it drove things so far down. Kind of same with '08. Everything like driving things down in '08. Your fiscal policy managed by your government, by who's in
The
charge.
government doesn't manage fiscal.
Uh,
Government doesn't do the monetary policy. That's the Federal Reserve, sir.
I mean, so they have a leader who they kind of gauge things off of a little bit. Whereas if I'm spending more money and I'm putting more money out there, like in '08, where, hey, so since all of this just collapsed, we're going to bail out car industries and all of this and all that. That's a whole bunch of money that now the Federal Reserve has to accommodate for. That's why I'm saying it does matter who's in charge, because then you'll have to, they kind of guide the fiscal policy. Whereas in like the Federal Reserve just has to keep it afloat off of someone else spending it.
Fair enough.
So it matters how the spending is done. Because like not all spending is equal.
You sure?
I mean, according to the data, not all spending is
According
equal.
to the data.
Yeah. Because
I'm just looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart over here.
it's pretty nice. It's been doing pretty nice.
We're at that, what do you call it? The golden pocket.
Yep.
Trying to see if we get a breakthrough or if it's going to roll over. I mean, if we roll over, then, you know, that could do well for alts. But if I do total 2, which is all of your altcoins, and slash BTC, then what this is going to do, and hit enter, this is going to compare the total 2 to Bitcoin. And what we'll see is it is getting absolutely hammered, which this just shows that alts are bleeding against the Bitcoin, right? So, I mean, but you can see we've got to be coming up on a bottom here soon. I mean, right now we're in this demand area here, and then next up would be this low down here. If my boxes will work, there we go. So this will be a demand area down here. So we could see that come down. We could see alts just absolutely get crushed compared to Bitcoin. the general altcoin market. And remember, this is total too, so this does include Ethereum. And it is still bleeding out like crazy.
That's why I was saying, though, a bunch of HODL buy spots are going to be coming up on alts. Anytime someone asked me to look at an alt last week, I'm like, oh, well, looks like one's coming up on Near, one's coming up on Injective. ETH is gonna ETH dropped out quite a bit, and another spot's coming up on ETH as well, where it's like you're watching the Bitcoin dominance go crazy. Your whole market cap, though, isn't really changing. It's just switching over to a different asset, which is kind of what's letting you know that rally time is coming. I'll have to at some point look at the supply and demand curve on Bitcoin, because that one's a doozy. When you start seeing that demand on tick up and the supply on your exchanges kind of fall off, it's right around this time frame, and you'll see it fall off extremely hard while all of that upward momentum goes on Bitcoin, and then you kind of see it tick back up, and that's when you're really starting to see your total 2 and total 3 kind of pick up. But this is all plenty of time for spot buying on alts, because you're really you're gonna see some of these prices for a little while, but not a whole much longer, because as Bitcoin price does go up, you will see the whole market cap go up. So Bitcoin will keep its dominance for a little while, and it'll tick down, and then you'll see the whole market cap of crypto in general start going up. The price of Bitcoin will continue to rise, but your alts will also slowly start moving. So as you had shown on your chart, you really have a smallish window before things are really going to start going crazy. And it's not going to matter who gets elected. None of these politicians are going to fix anything. So
yeah, DDT made a good point. Where did he say it? Anyways, he said the first 10 days of November are always down days, and then after that it's up only. Something like that. But let's go ahead and say hello to chat. So good morning, Kyle Field. Good morning, all set. DDT Buck is in here. Hola, French Toaster. Crypto Billy in the house. What is up, sir? Hashtag Givers Gain. Let's see. We've got Al Jr. We've got, I think that might be it. Nope, we got Crypto Caveman with throwing the otters in the chat. What is going on? Otter Gang in the house. Falco. Baba Yaz. Oh, Baba Yaz. Didn't Baba Yaz win our competition? Or was that, I think so. Crypto Caveman. Yep, say Crypto Caveman. David Brumbelow in the Jungle. Rumble in the Jungle. Yeah. Alt should bleed through December, says Crypto Billy, which means good short trading and good buys for HODL bags. Yep. Agreed. 100%. So good morning to everybody. Hope you're all doing well, and hope you all have an amazing, beautiful day and week ahead. But yeah.
And that's exactly what Billy said, was exactly kind of what I've been talking about. Because it's you will see Bitcoin making its move, and that's why I was saying you're going to see some alt positions where you can get in on good HODL buys. And that's where I've just been saving up dry powder. You save up the dry powder. You save up the dry powder. You wait for those big bottoms. My DCA strategy changed up a whole bunch after we got into our first little parabolic leg up. Before that first parabolic leg up, you can basically just buy whatever. It doesn't matter. Just click buy. Just click buy on your regular schedule and you'll be fine. But once you get that first parabolic leg up, you got to switch your strategy a little. You wait for those bigger dips, you buy. You wait for you save it on up. And that's where, instead of, oh, every week I'm buying, well, like every week I'm buying Bitcoin, it doesn't matter. But like for my alts, I'm waiting for that bigger move down on Bitcoin, because that's when you're seeing a little bit of bleeding. And that's where it's like, oh, it's 15% down. Great time to buy. And you'll see the last little bleed off coming here before next year. And as we get into next year, the buying opportunities kind of slow down unless you're swapping an asset that has already gotten big gains on it. Because then it doesn't matter as much. You know, this is all that I took my profits, and I'm taking my profits and I'm sliding it over to an altcoin, and I'm kind of keeping the money that was originally in there. I might put it in dry powder. I might just leave it in Bitcoin. I know I have two different Bitcoin bags. One of them's for I'm never going to touch it, and one of those is to swing around with, where it's like, okay, I've got my 2x on it. Now I'm going to throw that into some alt. And it really just depends what alt is performing the best for me. I might go outside of my portfolio, but it really just depends. Right now, I'm looking at Near or Injective for my big play on that. I might swap that around because we haven't really seen how things will perform on this next movement. On the first parabolic run up, Near was my big winner. Injective was number 2 on that. That's why I dropped ADA. ADA went from 30 cents to 70 cents. Yeah, I made some money off of it, but it wasn't anything like my Near bag. So like, okay,
No.
well, now I'm adjusting my portfolio. I slid a bunch of that money into Bitcoin and ETH. It's safer gains that are going to be about the same as Cardano gave me. So why not put it in something safe?
Yeah, I need to. Well, I just bought a house,
Yeah.
so I'm back to stacking. So not that I ever really stopped stacking, but I don't ever stop stacking sats. But I'm basically starting over, which is fine.
It happens.
Yeah, I still,
A house is a great
every
asset.
every cycle I've got something. Yeah, house is a great asset. But last cycle I was able to pay for my wedding. This cycle I was able to pay for a house, and then maybe next cycle I'll be able to go off the grid. I don't know.
See, next cycle, you're going to be able to take a loan against your house and buy half a Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Your wife's
Yeah.
going to be so
I'm
mad.
gonna put a lien on my house and just buy a bunch of Bitcoin, see what happens.
Hey, I mean, if history says anything on the Bitcoin chart, you'd be fine. You'd be fine. After that first leg up, you take some profits, and then you basically can just pay off whatever loan you took against your house, and then just let the rest ride.
You got the article. We've only got 14 minutes, so
Oh, I didn't have an article pulled up. I just had
Oh,
a
I thought you
bunch of the
said you had
betting. I had a bunch of the betting markets and the polls kind of
Okay.
pulled up. So
yeah, we can get into more of the Dixie. I was just looking at the Dixie. It looks like
it's doing pretty
uh,
nice.
it's doing a little bit of a pullback right now, of course, because it did meet resistance, but yeah, I mean, we still have this fair value gap up here between 108 and 109. So yeah, I think Dixie could get up there, even though stocks are and crypto are both kind of moving to the upside. But if this starts breaking out again, that probably gives us that downside. Well, we'll see.
Well, and another thing that's going to factor into that, so the European Union, I believe their rate decision is this week. So if they cut rates again, which is what has been predicted, another 25 basis points, on the Dixie, they make up almost 60% of the comparison. So
It's about half.
it's like 58%. That's what I'm
Are
saying.
you sure about that?
It's really high. It's
Hmm.
extremely high. And that's what I'm saying. That's why you'll see, like, no matter what, if they do another little cut, that strengthens the dollar against it. You didn't see Japan hike rates. That's a nice little thing to see. As the dollar's gonna be used more in these markets, especially if you do see Trump win and you're going to see drill baby drill. Guess what? That means more people are buying US oil with our dollar. And so that helps the Dixie.
Okay.
It'll kind of depend on how things play out with some rate cuts over in Europe, which is what I've been having my eye on. It's not strange to see though in a bull market and your assets go with the dollar. Because if
Yeah.
if everything's rising, it's kind of hard to be like, well, the dollar's only rising a little bit, but like Bitcoin's in its parabolic run. It's not right there, but it's about to be right there. And you will see the dollar and Bitcoin move in lockstep to the upside. It's going to happen a bunch over the next year.
Hmm.
So let me,
Yeah, this is the euro against USD. It's
mhm.
got a nice clean breakout and back test.
Yep.
And the next thing is just to go.
Well,
Go.
and that's what I had looked at on Thursday because the rate decision's coming up, and I meant to talk to Piper about it because one thing I've been a little more interested in is some forex trading because it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, let me swap this over to this currency and then buy in this currency, and when it goes up, then I sell, and then I swap back in, and I get gains on top of my gains. I just need
Oh, Cluck, Crypto Pollo in the house. What's going on? I think he's got to go, though. Driving to the airport. Sorry, I had to. And J Junior Block. Good morning. Good morning. Um, yeah, fly safe, Pollo, says all set.
yes, safe travels for
Oh,
sure.
gotta run too. Have a wonderful day ahead. Have a wonderful day, all set. Hope you're doing well and have a great day.
Most definitely. Let me share my screen real quick. I'll
All
have
right,
to
10 minutes time.
yeah, I'll have to zoom in a little. But as you can kind of see here, this is just real clear politics. It's has Trump in favor by point 0.1. That's over margin of error. If you swap this over to here's a bunch of the polls in general, you had kind of talked on it a little bit. Let me
Who
so
is that? Is that 538?
Uh, this is real clear polling, and this is
Real Clear
just
Politics?
yeah, this is just from multiple sources. So you have like the
Yeah,
national,
Real Clear
NBC,
Politics very is right leaning, but that's fine.
but this is no, this has it from all the sources. So NBC News, Trump Harris tied, uh, Tip Trump +1, Emerson tied. You have New York Post tied. You have Yahoo News Harris +1, ABC News ISPOS. You have Harris +3, Morning Consult Harris +2, New York Times has it a tie. You have Insider Advantage Trump +1, Muehlberg College Harris +2. Like here's all the sources of a bunch of them, and it's all within margin of error. So,
Yeah, Nate Silver, famous pollster, Nate Silver says that he's wondering if the pollsters are doing herding, what's called herding,
mm-hmm.
which is where they all just like run towards the middle to kind of like save face. Or there's a couple of reasons why they would do it, but like let's say if the election goes one way or the other, whatever it is, they want to be in the safe zone. We're like, well, we could have, it was really close, they don't want to just outright just say, yeah, we think Trump is leading, or yeah, we think Harris is leading, in case, because, pollsters get a lot of backlash when they're wrong. And then everybody loves them when they're right for their team. So,
Well, like
but
the big
yeah.
problem with
So I
polls.
do wonder if they're all running to the middle.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of big problem with polling in general. It's like you're calling up random people, and who's to say you can kind of get a gauge of, oh well, we have all this metadata on people, so we're ABC News, we're gonna use the metadata that we have to call more blue, and you'll see a lot of inaccurate polling. How many people are actually answering the phones? Same with like there was data I've seen on Republican polling where like a lot of these Republicans that they're trying to poll and call don't even answer the phone. Like, oh, it's a number I
Yeah,
don't know. I'm not answering that one.
yeah, I'll have to see what poll it was, but there was one poll that came out, I think, late last week or maybe over the weekend. It's got the largest sample size. It's like something like 138,000, 148,000, something like that people. And I want to say it had Harris +2 or something, +3. Again, margin of error, and that's a massive sample size. So,
But like, how'd you get to sample size? Are you pulling off of Facebook? That's not very reliable. Are you pulling off of Twitter? Also not reliable. Like,
I don't know. I
you,
think Facebook's pretty reliable. I think a lot of people that still use Facebook are probably voters,
yes, but at the
actual
same
voters.
but at the same time, what are their leanings? Or is in like, I'm independent. I don't use Facebook. I don't really use Twitter like that. I
And
literally
when I
just
say
scroll on
people that
Reddit.
use it, right? Well, I'm talking. Well, those that are on Facebook are still using Facebook are
Mm-hmm.
boomers and older people mostly. So those people are also your most likely to vote people, because you're older people. Um, I know a lot of older women still use Facebook,
Yeah.
and a lot of older women are voting in this election for a very specific reason. And it's why I have my election prediction going against what everybody in crypto wants. But yeah, and it's over one position that a lot of
That
people find just morally reprehensible. So
Yeah, you mean that won't even be
um,
swayed by a federal election is at the state level now? Yeah, I know. I trust me. I've had
yeah,
so many arguments with some females who are like, "We gotta vote for this because I'm like, wait. Do you understand that your voting on this holds no sway in your local region? And if you really cared about that issue, you would have voted at the local polls not that long ago." And I had that argument
uh,
with I've had that argument with people. It's like, oh, you really care about that? Well, then go out in your local community and do something about it because that's where it's
man,
at right now.
man, regardless what year it is, who's running, I don't care. Your local elections matter probably more than
Yeah,
the national elections
a
when it
hundred
comes to your
percent,
day-to-day life.
100%.
Um,
Well, it's like
and people just don't pay attention.
everyone here is complaining about property taxes. Yet
Mm,
a bunch of those people didn't vote in the last, and because like you can see the data on who voted and all of this, and it's like it was midterm time, so instead of actually getting out there and voting um, with the local stuff as well, people weren't out there voting, and that's when they get to do those times where they screw people over. So the people that got in were the people that decided that they were going to raise property taxes and stuff like that. And this is where it's like, oh, well, housing is so expensive. Well, did you vote in your local election? Are you depending on a federal candidate to fix your local jurisdiction. That's not how it works. Politics is
one.
from the bottom up, not the top down.
Yeah, I have to push back on Crypto Billy and DB Cooper. Heck, they had Hillary winning, and it was a blowout. Time erodes memory, and I think polls have undercounted Trump in 2016 to 2020. Yes, however, it's been four years, so they adjusted the polls. They were a lot closer in 2020, and then now, since Trump outperformed the polls a little bit in 2020, did a lot in 2016, a little bit in 2020, I think the pollsters are actually have put that into their equation, the Trump outperformance. So I don't think, I wouldn't bank on it. All I gotta say, guys, is vote. Just go out and vote.
Do your
I don't
civic
care who
duty.
you're voting for. Do your civic duty and go vote.
Yeah, most definitely.
I'll be your friend, whether you're a Trump supporter or a Harris supporter or a just don't be a Ethereum support. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my goodness. I am not with him. If you don't vote for Trump, I'm kidding.
If you don't vote for Trump, I'm not your friend.
But yeah. So as you know, as we've kind of touched on,
I love
it.
people
It doesn't
have their
matter
views,
that
man.
much.
I don't really care. So
As long as you're not for the tearing down of America and you just want America to be better, and your view on how to get there is a little bit different than mine, but the whole end goal is the same, we can be friends. But if you don't like America, then we got some problems here.
we do. But it is 6:30, sir.
Yes,
So.
most definitely.
Oh man, we got one more day. Well, 2 more days, because I mean we gotta wait until probably, who knows if the election will be even called by tomorrow night.
it's
It might
not.
not be called until
It's not.
we wake up Wednesday morning and it's like it was called for whoever at 3 a.m.
I'm
so.
guessing Thursday or Thursday night is probably when we'll know more of like the general idea.
Unless it's a landslide one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a landslide one way or the other, then it'll be called tomorrow night, and we'll see.
I don't think that's happening, but we will definitely see.
Who knows?
It'll
Who
be.
the heck knows?
But either way, assets go up. It's that time. It's about that time.
I do think that.
Yeah.
think that.
It doesn't matter. They're not going to affect the price of Bitcoin. But thank you.
Oh, it'll affect the price.
Will it? Will it?
Short term.
Yeah. Okay.
Short term.
Yeah. I don't. My time horizon is long term. I'm a swing trader, and I focus on hodls. So all I care about is more of the macro. Is the macro going to go up? Okay, then I'm not worried as much. So
Gang, gang.
yeah. It always makes me laugh when you say that, because I forget. I forget where you're from.
M-Town, baby. M-Town.
Yeah. But thank you to everyone that showed up today. I hope you got some enjoyment out of it. I know it wasn't as TA heavy as usual, but we just felt like some of this stuff should definitely be talked on, because every once in a while you got to have some fun. And I know
Yeah, absolutely.
we definitely enjoy talking about politics between the two of us. So we felt like y'all might like to hear some of that as well. So make sure to tune in later today with the morning market report.
I'm
9:30.
Mr. Devil's Advocate.
Oh yeah.
I've always got to be plant, because I got to keep all you people grounded, man. You got to live in reality.
Oh yeah. Oh. Or just burn it all down and start over. Woo!
Oh God, no, let's not do that. I'm trying to avoid that this election season.
But I mean, it's kind of at a tipping point where sooner than later it might happen. But
We'll see.
make sure to tune in at 9:30 to the morning market report with Piper and OC Guy. I see Tradefly in the chat. Good morning, good morning. Make sure to tune in to his show as well, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time with the Crypto Nightcap Show with Tradefly and FD White. They will be probably talking about some of the same stuff we did and having just as much fun with things. Make sure to check out the links in the description. We've got some deals on some indicators and some coffee. And the Discord is very fire. If you have not joined the WAP upperclassmen, we've got a great trading group. So definitely something to check out as well. You got anything for the people before we sign out?
Lock your fibs.
Yes, lock your fibs, eat your ribs.
Yeah, I think we're going to the upside, and I am currently in a long. Yeah, stop loss is the low and to all-time highs. But at the very least, I think we get to $72,300. I hope you all have an amazing, beautiful, wonderful, radical day. Ride the waves.
Yeah, everyone, wake up.
It's going to be a good day.
Most definitely.